So let's move on to the electrical certificate. We're going to look at a sale agreement. Again, this is not for one specific company. There's a bit of a mix and match in here just to highlight some interesting points. But it says here, the seller undertakes to furnish the purchaser prior to date of occupation by the purchaser or date of transfer, whichever is earlier, a valid certificate of compliance and, if applicable, a test report in respect of the property. Now, back in the day, your test report and your certificate were all in one document. That's not the case anymore. The certificate is a Department of Labor document that you can just download and fill in. And the test report is referring to all the readings, the number of points in the property. You cannot have a certificate without a test report, so you don't need to mention test report. It's unnecessary. And it mentions the electrical installation regulations and machinery regulations. Now, machinery is a separate set of rules for fixed appliances, got nothing to do with a compliance certificate for the sale of a property. The seller warrants that as at date of occupation of transfer, whichever is earlier, there will have been no addition or alteration. Very important. Even if that's not stated, it's still implied. I mean, you can't go and change something after a certificate's issued and expect the certificate to still be valid. So no change or alteration on the property subsequent to the issue of that certificate. And then all costs incurred in obtaining the certificate and test report, including cost of repairs, are for the seller. And here's an important point. Upon the seller furnishing the purchaser with such a certificate, this purchaser shall have no claim whatsoever against the seller. So if the seller uses a fly-by-night, the purchase is done. If there's problems afterwards, there's no way to go back to them. Now, the electrical, in my mind, is probably the most important of all the certificates. Why? Well, if we think of the cost of average quotes that go out, take a biggish house, what's normally the highest quote? Electrical, water, beetle, gas. And unless there's beetle with a big fumigation, or 2 or 3 geysers that are burst on the same property, which is unusual, electrical's always the most. Are electricians charging higher fees? Our labor rate's the same, gas, electrical, water, same for everything. So why is it more expensive?
Liability?
No. Our markup for material is the same, our labor rate's the same. Why is it more expensive? Look at this room. How many water points do you see? How many gas points? How many, no electric fence, but how many light points are there? How many plug points? So if these lights are installed incorrectly, and we don't know if they are, but if they were, you could have, 25 faults right here. Okay, so the electrical has the most potential to be a big quote if it hasn't been done right. Okay, so for that reason, we need to make extra sure that the electrician issuing the certificate is properly registered, because he makes a declaration. Now, if you have a false declaration, it's fraud. And look what he's saying here. And this is on every certificate. It's not our wording. It says, ID number, a name and ID number, a registered person declare that I have personally carried out the inspection and testing of this property and deem it to be reasonably safe, basically. So that means the person signing the certificate has to be on site. Okay? We have got 50, 60 certificates on file at the office where the electrician that signed it has never been to site. Not our certificates, other people's certificates. There was a stage where one quite prominent company, the owner of the business was signing everything, every single certificate they issued, never going to site. There was another one, also quite a well-known compliance company, where the person signing the certificate was 85 years old. Okay, so he was just sitting at home signing. And they had a fairly decent electrician doing the inspection, but he was a single-phase tester, and some of these certificates require 3-phase electricians to sign off. So if anything went wrong, even if he did a perfect inspection and something went wrong and it was found that he wasn't there, it's fraud. Okay, so how can you prevent that from happening? Just ask the electrician's name and the plumber's name if you're on site when they do the inspection, and just compare it to the certificate afterwards. If it's not the same, then you say, I want this person here, he must come check himself. We've had a few situations, I'm jumping to solar now, that happened on the solar side, where there was big problems on a solar installation. Then the electrician that signed off came in, and he didn't know where the DB was. And he was only there like 3 days ago, according to the certificate. Okay, so you can see what happens if things are not done correctly. So let's ask a question for the audience.